Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for checking out another episode. In today's video, I just wanted to take a second and just talk about what this transition for LA Thieves really means, both for them, for the environment of the CDL, for the success of the CDL, and what it means moving forward for what we could potentially see going into Black Ops Cold War in 2021. As we're sitting here today, we are less than a week away. We're only 6 days, and by the time you're watching this, it'll probably be like 5.5 days. So we're 5.5 days away from the launch of Black Ops Cold War. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. Even that Friday, I'm sure teams are going to be streaming their scrims right from the get-go. So you can believe I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be breaking it down. I'm going to be putting everything out there so you guys can get an idea in terms of what teams are doing and how they're playing these maps moving forward. So with that said, I want to go ahead and I do want to look at LA Thieves Twitter account. So as we look at this, by the way, I think their branding is great. If you guys haven't seen this, you can go through, you can see the logo, you can see the script, you can see their crest that kind of has the LA across the top and the Thieves across the bottom. I think they did a really nice job with it. But as we look at this, they have 75.3 thousand followers already, and this account has been up here for, I mean, we really just found out about it a couple days ago. When it comes to their popularity, they are second. Well, they are third, but I guess we could kind of quantify that in a moment. But in terms of active CDL teams, they are second only behind Chicago. As we look at Chicago, they have 187,000 followers. Of course, the Optic brand has like 3.2 million or 3.4 million, somewhere in there. But that, of course, isn't quite what it used to be, right? Unless that branding does go over to Chicago and they kind of flip it from Chicago Huntsman to Optic Gaming Chicago. We'll see. We're not quite sure what's going on with that yet. But when it comes to Los Angeles Thieves overall, I think we touched on this very briefly yesterday when we said that they were back. But in terms of their impact for the Call of Duty scene overall, I really do think that this could be the move, both this move and the Optic Gaming branding, going back to Hex and having the full steam behind that branding. I do think that that is the momentum that the CDL could use to really propel them forward. So Los Angeles Thieves, Optic Gaming, both of them with the full head of steam. Then not to mention just some of the other brands like New York and Florida and Minnesota, and how they've been doing such a good job with content and getting their names out there. And slowly but surely, of course, Atlanta, can't forget about Dallas and Atlanta. I think Dallas is doing a tremendous job with Lando down there, and they have their series of content and Off the Break and their shows. That to me seems like it'd be a really awesome job. If anybody's out there looking for a full-time commentator, I'm your guy. Going to one of these franchises and just talking about the news every day, talking about what's happening. I think that Dallas is doing a great job with that. Chicago's doing a great job with that. We know that Los Angeles will be doing that. Minnesota puts out videos all the time. So I think all of that mixed together is what's going to take the CDL to the next level, because we were talking earlier, and of course, I know that there's some popularity behind the Overwatch League and, just what's happening inside of that community as a whole, but I'm just not sure, and look, I could totally be wrong. I don't know what it's like overseas or in different countries or whatever, but I know, at least from what I'm tuned in with, it doesn't seem like they have the driving personalities and the driving brands and stuff like that behind teams that are in the Overwatch League. Whereas if you look at Call of Duty, we've talked about this multiple times, how Hex and Scump and Formal and Nadeshot and Octane, and you could go down the line, and, Big Timer. And so we're not even talking about pros of today, but pros of old, like Aches and TP and those guys. It just seems like they have such a long line, a long line of lineage there, that it really does propel the brand forward. One other thing that I wanted to just share in terms of news, if we look at this has been rumored. We thought that maybe Temp would be their fourth. We weren't quite sure. That's a name that's been out there. But this also just popped up. So this is from Enable. This has been going on for the last 12 hours or so. But he tweeted this picture of him kind of with the mask on that, signifies him being a thief. I guess you could look at this one of two ways. one, he's just being careful in his car, you know, he's going out to get something, or I think that this was on purpose, right? He's got his mask on, so thieves of some sort, and he's got the LA hat. So it seems like, I don't know, take from this what you want. I don't want to be overly like, hey, this is what's happening, because we don't know for sure, but that's what it seemed like is happening. And as you go through and kind of look at the comments, it's just, I don't know, it seems like people are waiting for it. So that's going on there. And then one other thing, and this never really felt right, at least last year, but going into this year, Kenny tweeted, also, I've decided that next year I'll be going back to Kenny for the league instead of Quavo. The initial idea was so that I could lean more towards my brand, but it also just didn't sound right hearing Quavo on the stream. Hope you guys understand and continue to support. And I'm one, if you've been watching my videos for a few months now, I'm one that just called him Kenny anyways. I never really called him Quavo, just like with Krim. And also when Krim, so he changed his name to C6, we just, you know, Clayster tweeted out that the reason why he did that is because when you're looking at somebody, if you have 2 letters, it's much harder to see name tags and whatnot when you have 2 letters versus when you have an entire name. So leave it to Krim to do something like that. But I even heard on stream sometimes he was called C6, and that just doesn't sound right? So like with Kenny, I was just always calling him Kenny. With Krim, I was just always calling him Krim6. I don't know. It just is what it is. But yeah, I just feel like with Thieves coming back, with Nadeshot entering the scene, just, we haven't even talked about, imagine matchups on a championship Sunday. We don't quite know what's going on with the format of tournaments yet, but just imagine those 2 teams kind of matching up towards the end there. It should make for a pretty good year overall. But with that, guys, go ahead, subscribe if you haven't already. Any comments on this? What do you think about Thieves moving forward? What do you think about Chicago and maybe a potential rivalry there? Put it down in the comments below. Leave a like. As always, it helps out the channel. With that, we will see you in tomorrow's upload.